Hello fellow 3D enthusiast, my name is Ian. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm just going to show you real quick how you can make some volumetric clouds in EEVEE and then just turn those into flat textures with transparent backgrounds really quick. So with textures like this, it's really good for using in real-time scenes just to get some clouds real quick that don't actually require rendering volumetrics in a scene, and that can speed up your results and it can look really nice as well. So what I'm going to start with is just placing the camera. Let's just zoom that right up to the cube here, G, and I'm doing middle mouse button. And I'm going to select my cube and just scale it on every axis except for Z, so S and then Shift Z to omit that axis. And that pretty much fills up the camera. Let's just make sure, yeah, that's good. Actually fills it up too much. So now I'm just going to jump into shading, and with our volume selected here, I'm going to delete my principled shader. Okay, so now we have this black box. Cool, let's go Shift A and add in a principled volume shader. And I'm going to connect that into the socket here. I've got the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, just so you're aware. So I might be doing some shortcuts that are kind of quick. Alright, so we just have this gray mass and volume here. Let's add in some texture to that. So the textures I'm going to be using for this are a noise texture and a Musgrave texture. So let's drop those in. Where's the noise? Here it is. And with these, I'm just going to make sure that I have a texture coordinate, and I'm going to hook that up to a Shift A vector mapping node. Here we go. Gonna drop the generated coordinate in here, and just the vector into there. These are, I think they're generated by default, but I'm just gonna change up the scale a little bit. So my X and Y, I'm just gonna chop in half to 0.5. There we go, that's all set. And let's just get another mapping node real quick. And I'm going to make this a little bigger so we can have some space. And once again, generated into the vector. And with this guy, I'm going to get a converter and then separate X, Y, Z. So converter, separate X, Y, Z. Here we go. This vector goes right in there. And with this Z value, that you can't see it at the moment, but if we plug it into the density of our principled volume, you can see that it's not very dense at the bottom and super dense at the top. And I'm just going to drop in a color ramp here, and I'm going to make it so that it's white in the middle and then just black on either side. And now you can see it kind of fades out as it gets towards the top and the bottom. And if you want, you can do that with the X and Y as well, I would guess, and then just kind of multiply those together. But let's just keep it on the Z for now. And let's look at these textures real quick. So I'm just going to leave the noise texture at the default settings for now. But for the Musgrave texture, I'm going to scale that down to like a 1.8. And I'm going to turn the detail up to closer to an 8 value. And just turn down the dimension a lot. And it's hard to see what's going on, so let's just plug this right into our principled volume. And take a look here. You can kind of see what we're getting if we make that a little bit bigger. And when I turn down the dimension, actually details start showing up quite a bit. You can really see that happen in there. And if we go shift click and then just kind of cut this off, we can see what the actual texture looks like. And that's quite a bit of nice detail going on there.
Nice.
You can always turn up the detail if you like, mess around with that. But what I'm going to do now is actually add in a converter and then math. And I'm going to set these up to multiply with the noise texture, which you can see here. It's not very exciting. It just gets a little bit darker. So let's control this a little bit better with some color ramps. Kind of just crunch the values here. And then do that with the noise texture as well, so that we get something like this. Now the black parts will cancel each other out and just kind of almost subtract from the white colors, but it's multiplying. And now with this value, what we can do is, if we just grab these and move them over, we can multiply this value with what we got up here. And that way, at the top and the bottom of the domain, our clouds are kind of fading out. Now at the moment, this isn't super visible. It's probably not something you're going to want to use. So let's just grab our point lamp and go Alt-G. And I think we can go back to the Layout tab now. Now those are quite a bit brighter. That's cool. I'm just going to go to my render settings and go Film, Transparent. That will get our background looking good. And just to help the volumetrics look a little bit better, I'm going to drop the tile size to 2 pixels. And you can see we got quite a bit more detail there. So we can go, at this point, we can just hit F12. And we will get a nice cloud render. And you can save this out as a texture with Shift and Alt and S. And then just save that wherever you like. And if you'd like a few different variations, which I kind of recommend, so not all your clouds will look the same, if we go back to shading, one thing you can do with the textures is go 4-dimensional, and then just change the W factor, which, if we look at it, when we change the W factor, I think that's for time, but you just get some different variations going on. And you could do the same with the noise texture if you like. That'll just change up the variations that you have, and you can get some different textures rendered out. So this was a super quick tutorial. I just wanted to do this because next week I have a super cool result that will build on top of this knowledge, and that's pretty much it. So if you found this helpful, there's a link in the description that says free hydraulic kit bash elements, and when you click on that, that will sign you up for my email list. I'll make sure the first thing I send you is a pack of free hydraulic kit bash elements for Blender, and that'll just kind of give you a jump start when you're working on mechanical projects. Personally, I use them a lot when I'm working on mechs, and then whenever I make a new tutorial, I'll send that out to that list just to keep you updated. So that's what you can expect from that. Other than that, I'll see you next week. Cheers!
Nice.